What's up, fam? Just had a little hiccup for a sec. Hey, I'm gonna start coming on a regular, but I got a topic I want to talk about tonight. Gives people a chance to get on. Get my phone set up so I can see what you guys been up to, man. It's late night, and it's Saturday. I did one last night. It's supposed to be my Motivate Yourself Saturday, Motivate Yourself Friday. I did last night, but it was about trying to create a community for these young people around here in the community that I live in. But tonight, let me get, what happened to my Facebook thing? There it is. Tonight, I wanted to come on and talk about, here we go. I want to talk about content creation, like people doing music. I've had a couple clients, and I'll give you guys a short story for a sad thing that happened. It wasn't a bad thing. It was a learning experience for me and the client. And this was it just after COVID lifted or before COVID hit? I think it was just before COVID hit. So it had to be late 2019. Young man had a really nice song. As tonight, I'm talking about content creators as far as music and beat makers and things like that. I got a cousin, I should have tagged him in the post, but Energy Beats. It's actually my wife's cousin. My cousin, I got to know him, man, during COVID. I think I was 21. Got to meet him and his father at another studio. Here, that gentleman from Saginaw, who's a big time, he does beats for like the PlayStation and all that stuff. I forget, can't think of his acronym for his name right now. But anyway, he was there, and I got to meet Energy and his dad, walking me through what they were doing. And I'm saying all this tonight because I was talking to somebody just the other day about takedown notices when you buy or lease or use a beat for free, and you get some limitations, which would be the amount of streams you can get with the song, how many downloads you can get with the song if you try to use the beat or the music through DistroKid or one of the distribution sites or TuneCore or something like that. There's limitations, and a lot of people really don't know that. Turn this on. They really don't know what the limitations are. And today I was like, you know what? I need to talk about that a little bit. And so if somebody gets on here, I should have had a running, and I can do that, put a runner, like when I do this kind of thing, that Logic Load, they'll have it. You see my studio logo. I can put a banner across the bottom and make it run. But the link to this guy called Attorney Kyle, I just found this young man today. Young gentleman, very knowledgeable about this. I don't know if he's connected to BeatStars, but it was posted under BeatStars, a link under BeatStars. And that's where I went, because a lot of people get beats from BeatStars and some other people and YouTube. And a lot of people that get the beats don't know that they do have a limitation on them. And they don't know that until they start getting a lot of traction and they get a notice from the creator or possibly YouTube that you have violated, a content. Because this is what happens. You create the music, say the person creates a beat, copyrights the beat, whatever. They put it on BeatStars or whatever site they do. And they do all these kind of things. And then the beat goes up on a website or their site to sell. And then they have contracts. And the content ID is a digital ID like the address on your home. There's a built-in digital ID, which is called, I don't want to get off on that, but it's another one that you can do when you're pressing CDs and things like that too. ISRC codes. Yes, that's a different thing. But on this content ID, there's one assigned, and you should do that with your YouTube content and things that you're trying to monetize on YouTube. And when you're doing things from BeatStars or some other site like that. The content ID will identify anything that's loaded up on YouTube. And then I just heard something called Beat ID, does the same kind of thing. So if that music is played somewhere that they don't have permission, it'll get flagged. And then there'll be a takedown notice they'll get from YouTube. And I think the artist or the developer, whoever he or she may be, will know about the same thing that's going on. And you warn them. And if they don't take it down, then you can have YouTube take it down because it's a violation of the agreement you may have. So what happened a few years ago, I just wanted to put this out. I talked about it before, but at this venue yesterday at the workshop, I talked to two young men who basically write beats for raps and things like that for rappers. And one of the gentlemen was totally not aware of this takedown thing on the things he's using because he's grabbing samples. What he's doing, he's grabbing samples, creating beats to lease or sell, but he's using somebody else's music. That's another takedown thing. When we went to Howard Hertz, back in like 2000, I don't know, it might have been 2012, talking to him about this very thing that YouTube was really, really putting a stronghold on, pulling people's music down, besides like artists like Beyonce, Lady Gaga, these popular artists that already had a lot of traction didn't care because it was giving them more publicity. But a newer artist getting traction doesn't want somebody else that may get traction because of their beat or their music, and they're not getting monetized for it. So that's basically what I want to talk about tonight, is that look at your contracts, because this gentleman I worked with in 19, I took on a deal with him. Don't describe all the deal because it wasn't a bad thing. It was a good thing for both of us. But at the end of it, for me, and I should have done this. It was my fault. I was excited about the song because he had a lot of traction. It was a fun, popular kind of pop, rap, hip hop song. And we go through everything. And then now I'm at the mix phase. I got all the tricks and stuff done to this thing. So now the edits are done. Now let's get in hardcore mixing so we can get it mastered too. I said, hey man, you never did bring me the contract you have on the beat. Do you own this exclusively or you leasing it? No, he said, I paid for this. I own it. I got the paperwork. I said, well, can you email it to me? He said, I sure will. He said, I could do it. He didn't have it on his phone or something, but he said, I'll send it to you. So he emailed it to me and I got it that morning and I read it and I was like, man, I'm not, the deal I had set up, I wasn't going to monetize anything because he could only get like 10,000 streams. And it was 10,000 streams and 1,000 download. So let's look at it. So say if you did 10,000 streams, we talked about this before, at 10,000 times 0.003, that's $30. And then you only get 10% of that, right? Yeah, so you have 10,000 streams at 0.003, and then, no, you get 90% times 0.9 because DistroKid is going to get their 10%. You get $27, and at $27, they can take down your song, or you get info that you take it down. I think they give you a chance to do it. You don't do it, they pull it down. And so I looked at that. I was like, man, I'm only going to get $27. And then that was on downloads. That was on streams. And then the downloads, if they were 99 cents, say $1. It's just $1. $1 times 1,000, so it's $1,000. And then, you get $900 of that because 10% of it goes to your distributor usually. So I was like, okay, all the work, all the hours I got in, the kind of deal it was, I'm going to make $927. And then because I didn't write the whole song, I think I was getting like 20% or something. So let's go, I get 927 altogether times my percentage, 0.2. That's $185. So that's what I'm getting at. So you guys, he didn't own the content, but that's kind of contract. And because of that, and it was in my contract on my side that, we can't do this because you don't exclusively own it. Then I think he had checked on exclusively purchasing the beat, and it was quite high. And I get it. I mean, because if the guy's a good beat writer, whoever he or she may be, they get a lot of traction, they're going to make that money if they're going to do exclusive and probably still want to negotiate with you on publishing or something, or still hold the publishing, however they do that. So there's a lot of arms of this. If you're a creator, you're a musician, you're writing music or teaming up with people that are doing music, you need to be about the business, man. Stop that. Stop not being about the business. Man, I didn't bring my book in. But this business of music, I'll add it to my site and I'll find it. I'll put a link up so you guys can get that book. There's another, I think it's another called All You Need to Know About the Music Business. That's another one. And these books are written by attorneys that I use and refer people to. And I do have an attorney when I need to, I can go and set up a conference, pay for one, for something major that I got going on. But I do have contracts for all of my, when I do publishing with somebody, publishing splits, writing, producing, NDA agreement, work for hire agreement. I got like 6 different things that I learned the hard way. I didn't get sued and I didn't owe anybody anything. I had contracts, and some of the stuff that I had paid people for would work for hire is in a contract agreement. Contract agreement talked about before. If you hire somebody to play for you, sing for you, and you don't do a contract, but you write them a check or you pay them in cash and give them a receipt that you have a copy of, that's like that person saying, I was hired for this work and that's my just due. Because people that believe in in your art and are at that place where, hey, I want to work with you, give me a percentage of copyright, or put me on copyright and give me a percentage of writers or whatever, then you negotiate that. So you don't have an agreement unless it's in writing. I don't care what you say. You could text somebody and that may work okay, but if the cloud goes down, your phone, all the data is gone, something happens to the company, your phone company goes out of business and it can't be retrieved, you have nothing. Get something in writing, put it in a safe deposit box, you can put it in the cloud or whatever, but I like hard copies of stuff that I can secure, and then you can put that copies of it in other places if you need it. But it's that serious, especially now for the music environment and the music industry and the way it is right now, is you need to be tracking your stuff, have an identifier, an address that if your stuff gets played, it can be tracked by YouTube and be taken down if it's misused, and even other sites. And if you're selling hard copies or CDs, people still do that for like novelty pretty much now. There's something called the ISRC code. You can get your own, and it's a stream of numbers. I think it's 11 numbers. You put your own suffix on the end that I think it's 4 different numbers or 2 numbers, something like that. I own one ISRC code, and I have different prefixes and suffixes for different things that I do. And it's different than a barcode. I do have my own barcode, and it's really weird. I haven't checked on why my first CD, I've had like 3 companies wanting to buy my barcode. So I probably need to get with my attorney. It's probably gonna cost me some deep money for a project, my first project with the barcode on it, that people keep sending me letters, literally, asking to buy it. So I must have money hanging out there that I haven't really checked into, because it was a jazz project and it crossed over to different markets, the jazz, the contemporary Christian market, and all that. So anyway, just want to come on here and talk about that tonight. What's up, Carl? My cousin Mondo. Man, who's on here? Mike Simmons, what's up, bro? Mike Leisher, what's up, Mike? I owe you a phone call, man. All right. So anyway, audio, music, content creators. If you're a beat writer, if you got friends or cousins nephews or children, sons or daughters, whatever, relatives that are doing content that they're trying to monetize, or they are monetizing their music, like putting beats, and it's a lot of kids, they got laptop, they're creating beats and sampling stuff. If you're a rapper and you're using samples, if you're a recording artist and you sample something, that's not free. Okay? In 2015, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was after Lydia had graduated, my baby girl. I don't know what the statutory is now, but if you took somebody else's single and did a cover and released, you got permission. You got to get a license to use it. You have to get a sync license if you want to do video. You get permission. That usually comes from the PRO or the Publishing Rights Organization, ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, some of these other ones. They may hold the publishing for the song. You can try to reach out to the label directly or something to get a license to use the song. Usually that they can't really deny you a license. Some people will because you're not a major artist, but if you use the song, get permission to do it, and it comes out, back then, you were only getting 10%, and basically 10 cents, and the artist got 90 cents based on the dollar. So based on the dollar, the publisher, whoever owned it, gets 90 cents and you get 10 cents. So the great thing about a cover song, even if you only get 10%, is that if it goes big, it's a cheap thing to pay for advertising. You know what I'm saying? Sincerely, because if you do a cover, you're a great singer or whatever you do, song blows up that you do for this cover, you're only going to get 10 cents. But it might be a wide open gate for your career to go. So yeah, just keep that in mind and do some research, do some reading. And the problem I found out with a lot of artists, man, they don't read stuff. They create stuff. They create music. They write rap. They write lyrics and things like that. But they don't never go read the business part. And that's where so many people, as we all know, have had, we've seen it on television, we've seen it on social media, where they crashed. Love what you're doing, bro. Thanks, Carl. Keep us informed. Will do, man. So yeah, take down notice. If you do, you can research it. Like I said, this young man, it's called Attorney Kyle. I put him in there. The thing, and if you go to that video link, you'll see a picture of him. But he's a young guy, and he knows all this stuff. And there's another attorney. Her name is the Latte Lawyer, TheLatteLawyer. I should have tagged her. She didn't comment on anything on this that I put up tonight, but she does a lot of great content about the entertainment industry, especially around music and publishing, around songwriting, song splits, and this kind of thing I'm talking about now, content ID. If your stuff has a digital content ID, then it can be tracked worldwide. Okay? So anyway, and just saying that because I tried to buy some CDs of mine that I think were on Amazon years ago. And they were like in, like Italy or somewhere. Because somebody had, and those are things, man, I need to put some money behind. Back then, I made good money. So I made all my money back and profit from my first project long time ago. But I guarantee you I got stuff that's probably overseas somewhere being bootlegged. You know what I'm saying? Because it was jazz stuff. So anyway, Quentin Smith, what's up, man? Jonathan Nelson, what's up, Jay? And all my good friends are here. And so if you're a content creator or you know somebody that's doing it, they're a rapper, if they don't have to come to my site, I don't know everything. I just found this guy just today. I was like, it was bothering me because I know it's happened to me. That's why I'm talking about it. The content creator thing happened to me because I don't buy beats. I'll create my own or get with another team. I got a couple of people I work with that say, man, I need to create a beat for such and such. I got a guitar part. Man, can you lay some down? What can you put together? And then we end up producing a song together. Because people ask, you can do beats? I can do them. I can take a sample, twist it, flip it, do all that stuff to it. I like to work with people when I come up with stuff like that because people are like, John Nelson that was on here, my best friend. He's helped me over the years, man. Get better at my creating when I write songs, when I write jazz or whatever I'm writing, helping my daughter. My daughter's a phenomenal writer, musician, and vocalist. And so, working with her is just, I got good people that I can call on to help me because, think about businesses like General Motors. They weren't built by one person. There was hundreds of thousands of people who made that company what it is. Us being skilled tradesmen like myself, engineers or managers. And there were some people that tore the company down too. But just get a good team of people, no matter what you're doing. Kelsey, yeah, thank you Kelsey, same thing. Kelsey does plays and all kinds of things like that. And yeah, Kelsey, when you get somebody want to give you some content, make sure it's cleared. And I'm sure you know all that already, because people do music and then you put on a commercial. All the commercials I've done were created right here. They were created in my studio with me and my wife and other. Rodney Jones did a lot of stuff. Everybody came in there sang, they got paid, and I had contracts for all of that stuff. Because attorney Gregory Reed out of Detroit told me back before my first CD, my CD had come out in 95, 97. He told me, Randy, because I had a manager, I had this happen twice. Two young guys who I paid with contracts, played on songs. They got managers. It was not the artist. And then their manager says I got to write them on my contract on the cut on publishing and on royalties for mechanicals and all that. I was like, I don't owe you anything. If the person I did work for hire that has points on this song and publishing and all that, if they want to give you some of what they're getting because you're managing them now, that's up to them. But I have nothing to do with you. You didn't even exist when we created this material together and registered everything and did copyrights, publishing, all the contracts. So it's important. Get it in writing. Get it in writing, man. When I hire musicians to play in here, I do the same thing. But also, if I was doing a live venue with my daughter, we did a big thing years ago. All the musicians, I contract them before we even rehearse. I usually meet people for lunch, take them out. I talk to them first. I'm going to meet with them for lunch, and then I'll give them this contract, which will be like a sample, and I might have sampled across the big thing. They know it's not legit. I'll read over this, and let me know if this is something you can commit to, because I wanted them the contract to be at the rehearsals and all of that, and their pay at the end, if I agreed for their payment, it's going to be based if they were able to attend rehearsals, and if they missed, why, that kind of thing. And it all worked out great. And people respect me for that. I thank God for that. And I got to thank Gerald Johnson for that part of my business. My best friend, who was just retired from being the global vice president of GM, told me a long time ago, stop trying to barter, man, and start doing contracts. If you don't have the money to hire people, wait till you save up a lump sum for this project you're doing, or start doing set aside so that you can hire people. And that's what I started doing. Me and my wife, I started setting aside money. I got to hire somebody to get a project. I was like, okay, I'm going to hire a bass player. I'm going to hire maybe two, maybe one background vocalist, maybe three. Then I budget for all of that. And then that's in my contract. So if the person approaches me to do a project, I'm going to consider every last thing I'm bringing to the table and get it in writing. And then upon that will also be not just the contract what I'm doing the project for, which would be like publishing and all that, will be all the other things. The work for hire contracts, they'll get a copy, they'll know who worked, who got hired, what they got paid. And in that contract, it says, do they own anything or do they not? Okay, all of that. Because it keeps it clear, man, because Toni Braxton was the other one I was trying to think of the other day. She got hurt really, really bad, man. Who was Left Eye Low? What group was she in? I can't remember. Not 3LW. Can't think of the name of it. But there's been so many people that have been hurt like that. So, and my daughter hasn't, with her project. I haven't with my project. Thankful to Bernard Terry, who turned me on to Gregory Reed for my first project. And then the other things I've been using, Howard Hertz and Hertz Schramm at agency in Birmingham. All right. John Christie, what's up, man? Kill Bill, what's up? Some bros on here. John Christie, listen, you guys, I got to shout you out, John. John Christie's studio, John, type your studio name in there. Is it Studio 24, 2024, something like that? He's got an incredible studio, and you know what? I'll shout out all the people. He has some majors coming his place, man, all the time. And I can't wait to just get down there just to visit. People like Isaiah Sharkey, if you guys aren't familiar with him. First time I don't know Isaiah Sharkey personally, but I think he works a lot out of John's place. But Isaiah Sharkey, and if you go to John Christie, he's on Instagram and Facebook. I think he's under John Christie or The Studio. And I'll look up his studio acronym. I'll put that up here as @ symbol, whatever. But a lot of you guys may know who my man is, but he was on, oh man, who was he playing with? Layla Hathaway. This guy was playing the acoustic guitar. It was just her and him, and the guy was a good player, and he's the gentleman, Isaiah Sharkey, who's a killer guitar player, man. I think he plays all kinds of styles of stuff, and he can sing too. He's just a very talented guy, and I think he's a really good bass player also. So anyway, just shout out to John Christie for jumping on, man. John, thanks for coming on. He's one of my big time, super smart engineering tech guys that, and he's very creative and has helped me with a lot of stuff. And we've helped each other with System 6000 pieces that I own. This unit right here. I got one over there, right here. And I got 3 more over there. And they're like, well, you'd have to know. I was at this workshop yesterday. I mentioned that I had System 6000, and Brandon Williams turned around and did a double take. He said, "You got what?" So I got 5 System 6000s. He was blown away. You'd have to use one to hear it. I use mine on every mix that I do. Now I want to go down the rabbit trail. I want to talk about equipment tonight. I want to talk about protecting your content, getting a digital ID in your beat, in your song, when you upload it, especially on YouTube, so that it cannot be being used by other people. That's why, like on Instagram, you'll notice, I don't think some of this stuff, if you don't have a content ID, I don't think you can even have it loaded up on Instagram to use as a song that they have playing in a reel or something. All that stuff's it's got digital IDs because they're monetized, so they're going to get paid for it. All right? Because I got, I think one of my clients, Joe Brown, I think he has a couple songs that are on Instagram, and I think, my other client, Shantae Smith. I remember one of his songs I took and did that, and I need to check. My daughter's got some nice material. I need to check with her because when we first did it, we went with Reverb Nation. You don't even hear about Reverb Nation anymore. I think they still exist, but they were like the big thing back in the day. And YouTube, and then you got DistroKid, a bunch of other things that people are using now. But get a digital footprint on your stuff when you put it out before you release it. Do that on YouTube and these sites like BeatStars. You can do it from there. That way, if anybody else uses your material, you're going to get monetized. If you got your stuff set up to get monetized for it. So that's all I wanted to come on and talk about. I'm going to jump off, and it's a late night with a seal session. I'm going to close out my seal session tonight. And I'm going to be doing more of these little things until, like I said, I launched the class where you'll be seeing all of this stuff in real time. I did one the other night. I'm going to chop it up of a major, actually it's a major recording artist project that I got. But it was, I don't know, something happened on the vocal side where we had a lot of ambience and some noise and some chopped off audio, and I'm going to talk about that on my next live. I had the session, I'm looking at it on the screen now, about using GarageBand for ideas and then trying to take that into Logic. And I'm using the newest version of Logic to do this. It chopped the audio off. And so I had to do some finagling of pieces, and I'll talk about that in another one. It'll be a tech thing about GarageBand and Logic, and I'll title it that or something. But anyway, hey, you guys have a good night. Have a good weekend. Thanks to everybody who jumped on. Welcome to the Seal Sessions if you've never been on before. These are what I do. Sometimes they're late night. Sometimes they're midday. Sometimes I try to do them when you guys aren't working on your music or out gigging somewhere or anything. And when my sessions are over, I'm taking a break. Usually late night, I'm jumping on doing this. Sometimes I pop on in the afternoon in between work, or if I'm out doing something like I was the other day, yesterday, I'll do it live. God bless. Take care. Thanks again for jumping on. And you guys have a great night. Hey, check out my outro video too, man. I got intro, outro. Take care. All right. See you.